Hey, what's up? DFS Rico coming at you with my picks for this League of Legends LPL 2-game slate on Friday, June 5th. League of Legends is back. I'm excited. This is going to be awesome. This is the first league that's coming back, the LPL, and the OPL comes back today, but they're not really relevant. The only ones we really pay attention to, I think, is the LPL, LCK, which starts next weekend, next Friday. And then the LEC and the LCS each start next weekend as well. So we're going to be pretty stacked on League of Legends. For now, we'll just have 2-game slates for the LPL until the LCK matches up with it. Since they both play best of threes, we'll usually have like those 3 to 5 game slates, depending what day the LCK and the LPL lands on. But for now, we just got the 2-game slate for the remaining week. Actually, we'll have 2-game slates. And all these matches are played best of 3. So it's really exciting. If you don't get time to watch this, you should. I mean, I know they play really early in the morning, but it's super fun to watch, super competitive. I like it better than the KBO. I'll still probably make KBO videos, but I'm going to be leaning more to this. I have way more success in League of Legends for sure, but mainly because I'm so into it. I like to watch these matches. I like to keep up with the news about these teams. But all right, let's just jump right into it. So early on, first thing I like to do with League of Legends, I like to look at the favorites. So that's the Oceanic League, but let's go down to the LPL. You got Edward Gaming facing on versus Team Wii, and then LNG first facing Suning. Suning are the bigger favorites of the slate. Edward are pretty big favorites, and I'm kind of surprised they're that big of favorites because Team Wii did beat them last season in the regular season. And they have the exact same roster. It was a good match, 2-1. Team Wii beat them. I think Team Wii finished the season better than Edward Gaming as well. So if I'm going to be going somewhere in GPPs, I think I would just go with Team Wii. And they showed a lot of upside last season as well in the summer split, or the spring split at least. So, but Edward Gaming, I mean, if you just want to play cash, I could see you just stacking Edward Gaming and Suning if you want to really be safe. But me personally, if I'm going to be going different, I will be taking Team Wii as the underdog instead of LNG Esports. And I do like Suning. Suning's probably my favorite play on for cash on the slate because I think they should be able to handle LNG pretty easily. LNG was the second worst team in the LPL last season. Suning was like 10th place, so they were kind of like a little lower than the middle of the pack, probably only like 3 or 4 spots ahead of LNG, but they did beat them LNG as well, and they practically both have the same rosters. All these teams have the same rosters as last season for the most part, so I feel like I'll just see the same outcomes. Team Wii and Edward Gaming, they have higher upside, but I will get into the picks right now. So let's get to it. So like I mentioned for teams, in my priority, I'm going to put Suning up top, and then I'm going to put Team Wii, then Edward Gaming, and then LNG Esports. If you want to play cash, Edward Gaming and Suning is probably the safest way to go. Me, I like to play GPP, so where I will be taking my shots is on Team Wii because they have such huge upside. But all right, let's get to it. For captain, my favorite play on the slate is probably Hung Feng. In victory, he probably has the highest upside out of any carry. He's the 80 carry for Suning. And before I actually get into these guys, the picks, the stacks that you want to go with in an LPL or League of Legends in general, you usually want a 4-3 stack. So it's kind of like baseball. You want to stack 4 players and 3 players from the 2 teams you practically think are going to win. Usually the winning teams are the ones that end up with more points. Winning team ends up with more kills, assists, less deaths, more objectives, more gold, more everything. So usually the start is where you want to bet on the teams that you think are going to win. Then from there you kind of go down and build your lineup out of 4-man stack and 3-man stack of the 2, in this case 2 teams that you think are going to win. If you really want to be different, and which I've seen work, you can do a 3-3-1, where sometimes a player in the losing team gives you that upside to where, and you differentiate enough to where you can win, because let's say the mid laner for the losing team ends up playing good enough to where it makes it to where you can fit 280 carries or 2 mid laners in your lineup. Because usually in these 2-game slates, you can't fit 280 carries and you can't fit 2 mid laners if you just pick the favorites because of pricing issues. So you end up having to put like a top laner or a jungler or a support in the captain spot. But if you do it the other way, where you do just play like a mid laner, and that's usually what I think is the best way to go, playing a mid laner or a 80 carry from the losing team, and then that'll give you the free cap to play another 80 carry from the winning team. So if you can play 280 carries from 2 winning teams, that puts you a little miles ahead as long as the losing team mid laner that you do pick ends up playing good enough to at least compete, which does happen. I've won like that before. I've seen plenty of people win like that. In a 2-game slate, that's where you can kind of differentiate yourself, because everybody will just be playing 4-3 stacks. Me, today, that's probably something I will be looking at, but we'll see. But Hyung Fang is my favorite play on the slate in general. I'll probably put my captain spot always my favorite play just to make it easy. 12.4 kills per match, 14.3 assists. And when they in victories, you see him constantly getting over 100 fantasy points. Had 120 fantasy points, I think, when he played against LNG last split. Let's see if it's on here. 96. And usually every victory, he's getting at least over 95 fantasy points. So I do like him. EDG and WE will be kill fest, so I think people will go to that. So if you want to be different, Hyung Fang, in my opinion, is the way to go at the AD carry position. For top laners, I mean, you got Ioti up top. You got Ben. Ben played really good towards the end of last season when he entered the roster, the starting lineup. He didn't start with them at first, not till like halfway through the season. He was playing pretty solid, so I don't mind him at 6K. I do like him. Ioti is the starter. Which I got the starting lineups over here at Kenzie on Twitter. He always has his lineups up. These are the starters for each team. You got LNG's lineup up top. You got Suning in the bottom. Then you got EDG on the top right there. And then Team WE in the bottom. So that's usually the starting lineup right there. He'll have them for you. But we got this right here. Morgan is the top laner for Team Wii. He's kind of probably the least interested one I am if I am going to be playing Team Wii for sure. Kind of just going to be avoiding the LNG guys. Depending on how many lineups you play, obviously. I only play a couple lineups, so I'll just probably be avoiding them completely. For the top laners, you got Jai, Junjia. For EDG, you got those are the two junglers. Jai started their last match of the season, so I do believe who's starting. Junjia will be starting, and I think they had better success. They were succeeding and playing better with Junjia in the starting lineup anyways, in my opinion at least. So we'll see what they decide to do, what kind of junglers they put him on. He's not that great in my opinion. Beishang is the best jungler on the slate. I do really like him, followed by Sofum. So those are the two junglers I would really be looking at if I am going to be building around those teams. I won't really talk about LNG because, like I told you, I'm not really looking at them. Teacher Ma is probably my favorite play from Team Wii. When he jumped into the lineup last split, he was just dominating. Had some really good games. You can see right there against EDG, they beat them 2-1, put up 88 fantasy points, played really solid in that matchup. That was towards the end of the season as well, so that's when the games really, really mattered. So everybody was trying their best as well. But Angel for Suning, I'm interested in him. He's probably my second favorite as well. Scout doesn't have that crazy upside in my opinion. Between him and their AD carry Hope, if you are going to be playing any of those guys from EDG, he's probably the one I like less. Hope has huge upside at the AD carry position. I mean, if they're winning, he has huge upside because they are a very active team. These EDG and Team WE, I expect it to be a kill fest. I expect it to go 2-1. I don't think it will be a sweep, so you have that going for you. Suning, I can see them being closer to a 2-0 sweep instead. But Hyung Fang, I mentioned him at the AD carry position. I do like him. Like I mentioned, I like Teacher Ma from Team WE. And then matching up a Sword Art with Hyung Fang is something I'd like to do. At 5.4K, he's really cheap. He's shown upside, 90, 80 point upside. So I do like 102 point upside. So I do like him. Pairing him up with Hyung Fang, it's going to be an active bot lane for sure. 23.9 assists, 8.4 kills. We know as Suning, that's where they usually like to funnel a lot of their aggressiveness is towards that bot lane. And then like I mentioned, for teams, the way I'm ranking them, Suning, Team Wii, EDG for GPPs, and then LNG, Cash. I'm going with Edward and Suning, but I do prefer Team Wii, I think, if you really want to be different. And if you just want to follow Vegas, obviously, Edward Gaming and Suning is the way to go. But yeah, I'm going to try to keep track of my wins and losses also, like throughout the season. So I can see how I'm doing for every league. If I do a video on them, I'll try to keep track of them. So hopefully I can start off 2-0. We'll see how that goes. But thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Keep tuning in for more videos. Thank you.